You can imagine how terrifying it would be to be a pilot sitting in a small plane like this and have a bird hit the windshield. Take a look at what's left of this car. You know, we look inside and there's hardly anything left, everything burned away. Just look at one of the seats. All you can see is the metal frame. And how many times have you done this? One hand on the wheel, one hand on your cell phone. All right, Jay, I'm going to need your help with this. Call this one for me. Heads or tails?
Tails every time.
It is tails. Very good, Jay. Now, we all know the coin toss. It's a simple way to settle a dispute. And last night with the Bend City Council deadlock 3-3, the decision about who would fill the empty seat on the council almost came down to the flip of a coin. The first day of school in this classroom is scheduled for September 8th. Right now, one of the challenges, getting all the books and supplies. And school organizers know the reality, it may not happen in time. We're here today with John O'Sullivan from Central Oregon Rush Soccer Club. And to an extent, I'm going to take you to task. Now, this is your profession. How many of these things do you do? Isn't it fair to say, well, if we're going to be developing this and it is going to be impacting the highway, you have to do the repairs or you have to do the mitigation? A Madras woman who pleaded guilty to stabbing her 20-year-old boyfriend with a kitchen knife was sentenced today. And if you look across the highway there, you can see the staging area. This is where firefighters are preparing to head into the fire. If you want to see the action on any fire, you head straight to the fire lines. But that has its dangers. We are on the southeastern edge of the Bridge Creek fire. With the exception of thunder overhead, things are quiet.
Right now, it's just basically our concept is we anchor, flank, and hold.
Crews are digging lines around what was once a 2-acre fire. That was late afternoon on Saturday, before unexpected winds pushed the fire to over 1,000 acres in a matter of hours. Now it's grown to over 3,000 acres and is threatening one home, a particularly difficult result for the Forest Service.
This isn't an example that we use as a success story by any means for wildland fire use.
Wildland fire use is a new strategy the Forest Service is using, allowing some fires to burn naturally while being closely monitored. But the Bridge Creek fire took off, and now the Forest Service is working to slow the front lines.
The projected winds coming from the southwest, it's going to push those lines really hard today, or potentially really hard.
It might be hard for them to find a silver lining, but they need look no further than buckwheat.
We saw a handwritten note saying a lost dog. It was a blue heeler with a black eye patch.
Gary Davis found that note while posting fire information around the area to alert campers. And with food tents going up, buckwheat found his way to Davis and eventually back home. Rick Massey was asleep in his living room Thursday morning when he heard the crash.
It sounded like something was coming through the roof, and I jumped up and looked out, and there's down power line.
A tree snapped in half, landing on the community laundry room just feet from Massey's trailer, leaving a power line dangling near his door.
When I came out to investigate, it was hanging out right by my door, and I heard a zzz, like an electric shock going on.
Massey and his parents evacuated their home, going to a neighbor's house. But even with the fire department on scene and the power company on the way, one look up and it's hard to feel safe.
Oh no! There went another tree!
My interview with Janie Stranahan was cut short, the fire department warning us to stay indoors.
Another one just broke right over there!
Mercifully, the tree fell into an empty field. As windy as it is out here in Sisters, some places have had it just as bad or even worse. 3 trees blew down, blocking Gherkin Market Road near Tumalo. Winter Circle in Sun River was blocked by more downed trees, and a tree was on the roadside at Mount Washington Drive in Bend near the Broken Top Golf Club. Reports of more of the same in Redmond, Sisters, and Deschutes River Woods. The damage was spread beyond trees. A streetlight fell from its post, signs tore from their roofs, and a stop sign was caught in a downfall of tangled limbs. While the wind continues to blow, Massey waits to get back into his house, hoping for the best.
I'm sure that's not the only tree that's going to fall with the wind the way it is.
What I can tell you is it is busy down here. You can see this line of cars stretching behind me over to the ballot drop site. They tell me it's been like this all day. Now, for those of you that haven't gotten your ballots in, remember you have got to be in this line of cars or one of the line of cars at one of the official ballot drop sites by 8 o'clock. At each of them, there's a Deschutes County Sheriff's deputy. He marks the end of the line at 8 o'clock. If you're not in line at that time, your ballot is not going to count. Now looking ahead to our coverage, we're going to move from here into the Deschutes County Media Room. And Media Room is the hub of election activity tonight. Just upstairs from that at the Deschutes County Clerk's office, they're counting all the votes. As soon as they get some of the results, Deschutes County Clerk Nancy Blankenship brings them down to the media room. They post them up onto the wall. We've got a big screen there. We can watch them. We expect a lot of the candidates to be there. Of course, we're going to be there, and we're going to be updating you throughout the night, bring you all the election results as soon as they become available. Live in Bend, Matt McDonald, KOHD News. Last week's bomb scare at Culver Elementary School has detectives looking for clues. And now they're being joined by 4 young investigators.
We're just looking at the reward money.
Prompted by a $500 reward, twin 11-year-olds Gordon and Brianne Wallinger, 9-year-old Dalton Deason, and 8-year-old Kylie Reed started their own investigation around this cafeteria table. They've searched the playground, finding notes they hoped were clues.
It said, "Please excuse Sky from PE today."
A dead end, but they continued. The investigation turning to a suspicious person Dalton had seen.
We went to go in the middle school to go look for a guy with a black poofy coat.
Unfortunately, all they found was another dead end. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, this whole investigation, it's just child play. Well, perhaps you're missing the point. Gordon, Brianne, Dalton, and Kylie are serious, and they're serious about 2 things: catching the suspect and earning that reward.
Every little detail will matter, and who knows, it might lead to the suspect.
Stephanie Garber, Culver's elementary principal, said if she knows one thing from her years of teaching middle school, it's that kids talk. Having a team listening can make all the difference, and it's already generated one plausible lead.
Me and my friend heard him say that he has no friends, he hates the school, he wishes he can just blow it up.
Brianne reported the comment. The suspect was questioned, but it was another dead end, proving a lesson about investigations.
I learned that it can be hard.
Detectives from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office are finding it hard too, saying they have yet to identify any suspects. Big changes. Housing, gas stations, even stores. What are you likely to find at one of these sites? I found bottles, cans, cars, tires, and more. In fact, I found enough to set up an entire living room, complete with a couch, coffee table, even a TV. Here's how it works. The city of Bend can only charge a tax rate of $2.80 per thousand. The fire district, $1.44. If voters approve the annexation, people in Bend would pay both. But the city would reduce its costs by $1.30. The net tax raise, only 14 cents. But what has some taxpayers concerned, in the future, the city can still charge the full $2.80. At that point, collecting the extra $1.30 takes only a vote by city council. 2 suspects, both described as white men with short blonde hair, wearing blue jeans and white t-shirts, stole his wallet. And you might be wondering how the owner feels watching his house go down the street. Well, it's time for a little confession. That house is mine, and I'm as nervous as you might imagine. One of the surprising things you discover while you're training are the little weaknesses you didn't know you had. For me, it's endurance in my shoulders. Now, while our butter is melting in the Dutch oven, we'll go ahead and get some of the rest of the ingredients prepared. We're going to chop up 1 medium-sized yellow onion. If a tax district is created, parks like Finley Butte here could see the creation of 2 more baseball fields. But for that to become a reality, property owners would have to vote yes in November. Hundreds of people showed up for a public meeting today to talk about the possibility of the Aryan Nation white supremacist group moving to John Day. Oregon State Police are leading the investigation into the death of a woman last night on Highway 26 in the rhododendron area. The victim has now been identified as 52-year-old Bridget McGowan. One step outside, you couldn't have missed it today. All that sunshine. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Adam Clark. Oh, you're going on vacation. You've been talking about this trip to Hawaii. Why don't, while you're there, figure it out, and you can do the weather from there for us here.
I would love to
while you're on vacation.
to bring work to my vacation. That sounds great, Matt.
I think it's a fantastic idea, Adam.
We would like to see